Thursday to the Ungovernables, the Captain Screw, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned, your one-stop shop for the truth. Okay, there it is. We're making it happen this morning. What a day yesterday. Combating more fake news. I want to get this one out of the way. I saw in the chat earlier this morning people upset. I think that Jeremy was playing, I think it was the Candace Owens, Piers Morgan thing, where people are like, just stop talking about her. How many times do we have to do this and say this? Pretending that the problem doesn't exist does not erase the problem for anybody except the person denying reality, right? If we had just pretended that kids weren't being transed in school, it would be worse. Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. And I'll make it. It's like, well, all she wants is the attention, and like I agree with that, right? I definitely agree with that. But we need to point a giant spotlight on what she's doing, because it is so harmful to what we're trying to do. And so I think if you watch, and I'm not going to play it today because 4 minutes is a lot of video and it's been everywhere at this point already, but I think if you watch her appearance on Piers yesterday, there's that where at the end she says she has no concrete evidence, you will see why she did not want to do a live stream with Turning Point, because when she's, it's like in court, you're cross-examining, she just fell apart on the stand. And she's like, stop focusing on what I said and focus on what I'm saying. What? And the final one, this should make sense to everybody. If we had just ignored that CNN, MSNBC now, MS Now, ABC, CBS, the New York Times, the Washington Post, USA Today, Huffington Post, BuzzFeed, if we had just ignored that they were lying and did not expose the fact that they were lying and did not hammer that point home that the mainstream media cannot be trusted, how would that have worked out for us? Well, all they want are views, guys. Stop drawing attention to CNN. No, when someone is lying, it is important to call it out. Now, you want to say don't go on social media and directly engage with them because that's monetized? I'm all about it. There was a movement on X called Starve the Grift a couple weeks ago. It was awesome. People just stopped commenting on the Krasenstein's post for a while. That's totally different. But shining a spotlight on the clear and obvious falsehoods that are being pushed by people like Candace, pushed by people like Tucker Carlson, I was way ahead of it on him. Hey guys, still not at war with Venezuela. And it's the same people. Every time it's the same freaking people. Dave Smith, who what a cow. You know what? I hope there's somebody in here who knows him and sends this to him. Dave Smith, you are a coward. You are a coward. And a whiny little bitch of a man. Let me tell you what this guy, all day yesterday. Oh, Tucker says we're going to war with Venezuela. Apparently, we're going to war with Venezuela. And then I go in his post last night, and I say, we are not declaring war with Venezuela tonight. We are not announcing war with Venezuela tonight. And all of his little simps in there, I'm screenshotting this. Good, screenshot it. Hang it on your fridge, because guess what? Your boy was right again. How many times do we have to do this? How many times do we have to go through the same exercise? It is the same people. I am so tired of it. You know what? I am so tired of it. All day, every day. The same people. Dave Smith, Tucker Carlson, Owen Schroyer, Alex Jones. and so on and so forth. Thomas Massey. Fanning the flames. They are the ones beating the war drum. Look at me. Listen to me. They are the ones beating the war drum. The Haji twins. And you know why they're beating the war drum? Because they want to be able to go in front of their camera, in front of their microphone and say, I told you so. They don't give a shit who lives and who dies. And it's pissing me off. They're trying to will these things into existence so they can get in front of their camera and say, see, Donald Trump is acting like George W. Bush. Doesn't matter how many men and women die. To them, they're not going overseas. They're not fighting a war in Venezuela. They're not fighting a war in Iran. I have had it with these people, and I have had it with other people saying, oh, stop causing division. F you and F them. They do this every single time there's a rumor. They treat the rumor as if it's true. And then you got Tucker, another weak little bitch of a man. Come on. Well, he did a little Candace thing. Well, I'm not saying I know it's going to happen. I'm just saying a member of Congress said they expect war to be declared or announced with Venezuela today. Sorry for being colorful this morning, guys, but I have had it. I have had it. They do not deserve to be taken seriously. You know the joke about Jim Cramer, right? And about how when he says to buy stocks, you sell because the opposite usually happens. That is Tucker Carlson. That is Dave Smith. That is Owen Schroyer. That is Alex Jones. They are never right. Don't tell me, well, Alex Jones got it right about the frogs. Okay, he got a story right. Congratulations. I've had it. These people are nothing but grifters. They are nothing but bad actors. They are doing nothing but stirring up trouble. And it is absolutely detrimental to our potential successes by giving these people any semblance of credibility. You find them entertaining, you want to watch them because you think they're entertaining, fine. But don't you tell me that these are credible sources of information, because they're not. And it is not just annoying, it is infuriating to go through this same exercise over and over and over again. Oh, Donald Trump said this. The sky is falling. This is not what I voted for. I was very clear yesterday. I don't want to put boots on the ground in Venezuela. I don't think we're going to. And hello, but did everybody miss when Caroline Leavitt on Tuesday afternoon said Donald Trump's speech is going to be about his accomplishments? Did everybody miss that? Oh, that's right. The truth doesn't get the click, doesn't get the like, doesn't get the view, doesn't get pushed in the algorithm, because the internet is an ass-backwards land where sensationalism and shock jocks thrive. Well, you know what? I hope that's coming to an end, because we're getting one of the single most influential truth tellers back in the conservative media space where it is badly needed. Dan Bongino leaving the FBI in January, and he is going to be back on his show, and not a moment too soon. Not that he didn't do great work at the FBI, but it's not a moment too soon. We need a rudder. We need a compass. The movement as a whole. And we need, in many ways, a head coach, a leader, a general manager who can look at problem players in our locker room and on our roster and say, you guys are not helping us win. You're off the team. You want to help us? in the stands. You want to go have fun in the parking lot. You still want to support us against the communists. Fine. You're not getting any playing time. All right. This is what I'm talking about. I'll play it in a second. Tucker with Venezuela. And I'm going to ask a question about this too and see if anybody's putting two and two together. But let's start with a word from our friends over at OFP Farms. It's OFPFarms.com. Deck the halls with cheer from OFP Farms, where holiday gift sets are jingling and ready to impress. They are famous for their fabulous gift bundles, and they've packed Santa's sleigh with goodies for every budget. Hold on to your LFATs because they're dropping a merry surprise with a 20% Christmas discount. The sale is on, so scoop up those holiday gift sets, delightful treats for her, wellness treasures, and beard and bath marvels as well. Prance over to OFP Farms now. Supplies are rarer than snow in the tropics, and once they're gone forever. Go to OFPFarms.com and grab your 20% off today with your promo code SHAWN. That's OFPFarms.com, promo code Sean, OFPFarms.com, promo code SHAWN, OFPFarms.com, promo code Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November for 20% off. That's again, OFPFarms.com. Promo code SHAWN. Redneck says, I got my Outlaw Beard Balm. My beard smells like Joey Wales' attitude. Check it out. Come on. Yeah, you guys got to get the beard balm. And I'll say what? Redneck has got a beard. Him and Corey they've got, this stuff works. So there you go. All right. Deonda1971 says, I got the discount with OFP. Very good, very good, very good.
Fantastic.
All right. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Well, about what happened yesterday. And I want to be clear. Tucker did not definitively predict that this is what Donald Trump was going to say. But what he did was the typical candidate says, well, we don't know, but we don't know, right? The whole nonsense. I'm just telling you what I heard from a member of Congress, so it's probably right. God, I can't stand him. I cannot stand Tucker Carlson. And I have had that feeling about him since after he botched the J6 tapes investigation, Fox News. And everyone said, you're looking into it. Yeah. He showed his true colors that day. Okay. Here's what Tucker said yesterday. Watch this.
Is Trump going to start a war in Venezuela?
I don't know. I don't know when this program airs, the one that we're on right now. I think this may be live.
We're live now, and then
okay.
It'll be posted immediately. So now,
my sense is, I don't know the answer. I've certainly been on the phone a lot about it. I have no power. I'm a podcaster, but I'm very interested. And so here's what I know so far, which is that members of Congress were briefed yesterday that a war is coming, and it'll be announced in the address to the nation tonight at 9:00 by the president. Who knows, by the way, if that will actually happen? I don't know. And I never want to overstate what I know, which is pretty limited in general.
Members of Congress were briefed yesterday, and a war is coming. We've heard it before. Now, let me ask you a question. Tucker saying that a member of Congress told him that this is what was happening. Anybody want to take a guess who it was? There's no proof, by the way, and I don't expect Tucker to burn his source, which is good. Honestly, that's what a good quote-unquote journalist does. You don't burn your sources. I don't expect him to do that. Anybody want to take a guess which member of Congress may be stirring the pot with Tucker Carlson? Anybody? Anybody? I see a couple guesses in the chat. Yeah, there, a couple. There you go. Here's one that I think it might be.
Tell you what, 6 months in, Steve, and here we are turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down.
Huh. It couldn't possibly be the same people who were pushing World War III back in June. I think it was either Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, or maybe both of them that did it, that told Tucker. Because I don't think Tucker made that up. I think he heard from members of Congress that they think war is coming. And it wouldn't shock me considering she's done that before. All right. I had to get that out of the way because last night was, as expected, a list of Donald Trump's accomplishments and what Kayleigh McEnany, lover or hater, whatever, she said on Fox News, here's what you can, and she was spot on. Here's what you can look forward to. It's going to be Donald Trump doing what he calls, what we call contrast messaging, saying, here's where we were, here's where we are. Look at the trend. The trend is your friend. Let's continue to move in this direction. And that is exactly what needed to happen yesterday in that Oval Office address. That's exactly what needed to happen. It's exactly what needed to happen. Contrast messaging. Okay? Here's the first thing that this is something there. I'm sure there are Democrats out there who are mad about this because they're mad about everything that Donald Trump did. And I think Matt Brown actually said to me, he goes, I think the Democrats are going to now accuse Donald Trump of bribing the military because he's giving them what he's calling warrior dividends. Take a look at this. This is Donald Trump announcing that the military is going to be getting a little bonus this year for Christmas.
Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call warrior dividend before Christmas, a warrior dividend in honor of our nation's founding in 1776. We are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And
there you go, warrior dividends. You know what? Nothing. There's nothing better than the President of the United States telling our troops, hey, you know what? Christmas season, let me take care of you a little bit. Here's a little something extra. That's very nice. It's very nice when the President of the United States does that for his soldiers. And he's well within his right to do it. Watch the Democrat. Hey, Donald Trump can't do that. Congress didn't say he could do that. Well, then Congress hates our troops. Because Congress doesn't seem interested in doing anything right now. What did Donald Trump do yesterday in this Oval Office address that was so significant? Again, it's contrast messaging. We are into the 2026 election cycle. We are less than a year away from the midterms. They are winnable. They are winnable, not just because of redistricting, because of how polarized the climate is in the United States. This is winnable, okay? If we want to win the 2026 midterm cycle, we can win it, but we have to want it bad enough. And I'm not sure yet, with some people in the eggnog brain fog right now, I'm not sure right now there are enough people who want to win it bad enough. If the elections were held tomorrow, I think we would lose, and I think we would get smoked because there's too many people who are disengaged. But that's going to change over the course of the next year, and that is what campaigns are designed for. They're designed to reach the people, activate the people, motivate the people. Something else that would motivate the people is something called results. Congress has to pull their weight as well. Donald Trump can only do so much. Now, I understand that when you walk into the grocery store and you buy coffee and you buy beef and you buy other sorts of food, it is still expensive. Having the expectation that Donald Trump was going to waltz into office and then just wave a magic wand, abracadabra, and everything's fixed is unrealistic. Now, maybe you're a first-timer in politics and you're like, oh, I thought that's how it works. Fine, I'll give you a pass. But there are other people who should know better. We inherited a mess. And messes don't go away overnight. You got to clean them. You got to clean it again. You got to take safeguards and measures to make sure the mess doesn't come back. I mean, think of my war with the ants in May. They didn't go away overnight. But I got them. And I had all these haters. Well, not haters. They were just like, good luck. They weren't haters. They were just busting my chops. They were like, good luck. They're going to come back in a couple weeks. And then, did they ever? Never came back. Those fire
They're
ants.
scared of you.
Scared.
They know to stay off this property.
Operation Midnight Hammer.
That's right.
Goodbye. Total destruction. We obliterated them. Obliterated. Contrast messaging was what Donald Trump did last night, and he did it very well. Okay? And one of the things that he called attention to was the cost of living regarding mortgages. And they were using graphics to show everybody kind of what he meant so we can visualize it. Take a look at this one.
The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history.
Matt Brown brought up something else. I said this to you last night, Brennan, when we were watching the speech. He said you could tell Trump wanted to go off script, but he was limited to 20 minutes. And I think that was important for him to keep it short and keep it sweet, because nobody wanted to sit through, and I love him, right? But it would have been less effective if people had to wade through an hour and 10-minute speech where you can deliver your points. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you. The contrast. Here's what it was under Biden. Here's what it is under Trump. Contrast. People have to remember. And this is why about a year and a half ago, I started saying on this show, not just Joe. Remember that when they were forcing him out? Not just Joe. This is a Democrat problem. The crime, the high cost of living, the high taxes, the healthcare fiasco, the unavailability of housing, food prices, etc., etc. This is not, it wasn't just Joe Biden and a bad president. This is the Democrats at work. Take a look at every blue city across the country, and you will find identical problems. They're all essentially the same. Some have more people, some have more problems, some, New York City and Nashville are not the exact same city, but they have the same issues. They have the same issues. The contrast messaging last night is exactly what this country needed to hear. Here's what we had. Here's what we have now after just a year. What is Donald Trump doing? He's making his pitch saying, look at the direction that we're going in. If you want this progress to continue, you have to give me more time. And by more time, he means more time with a Republican-led House and Senate. I know that they have been useless. I know that they have underachieved. I know that they haven't gotten Donald Trump's agenda codified yet. But it is still a lot better than Donald Trump being impeached, which is exactly what the Democrats are going to do if they win the House. We know that. How do we know that? Because they've done it already. Because they're laying the foundation with the drug boat stuff, with the Venezuela conflict. They're laying the foundation for it. Well, you don't think another anonymous whistleblower is going to do exactly? It worked last time. They didn't remove him from office, but they slowed down everything. Here's another one. This point that Donald Trump made last night needs to be the one that we repeat over and over and over and over again. Why does housing cost more? Why does food cost more? Why does healthcare cost more? Well, because government is involved in many of it. That's number one. And we know that the golden rule is if you want the price of something to go up, government needs to get involved and subsidize it, because that's always what happens. But number two, you do not have an increase in supply, but you do have an increase in demand. 20 to 30 to 40 million illegal aliens are in this country living off of the taxpayer, competing with the American taxpayer for resources, for housing, for healthcare, for food. Mass deportations will decrease the amount of demand. And when you do that, prices start to level out and things become more affordable. This is a message that we need to repeat 1 billion times over. Watch.
A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens. 100%.
It needs to be repeated over and over and over again. The more deportations we have, the more people we get illegal aliens out of our country, the better. The better it is for Americans. That's what America First looks like. Donald Trump also spoke about health care. Health care is a right, not a privilege. The system is broken. The system is corrupt. Whose system is it, Bernie? The Affordable Care Act, right? Not a single Republican voted for it, right? No. You are covering for big pharma and the healthcare companies. No, you're doing that. You're sending the subsidies directly to the insurance companies. Why not send the subsidies to the American people and let the American people choose who they want and what they want for their health care? Why can't we do that? No, because we have friends in the healthcare industry like United Healthcare. Oh, you mean the CEO that you guys celebrated getting killed? That guy? Here's Trump. Again, find me an American who disagrees with this concept. What does a perfect healthcare system look like, or a near perfect healthcare system? Government's not involved. I don't want government involved in healthcare. I don't want government subsidizing healthcare at all, whether it's to the people or to the insurance companies. But this, giving the money directly to the people, that is a hell of a lot better than sending it straight to the insurance companies on the Obamacare exchange. Listen to this.
I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost.
Donald Trump making the case, give the people the money, let the people buy what the people want. And if the people get the money and have the ability to choose any healthcare plan, whether it's on or off of the ACA healthcare.gov exchange, you're going to create competition that is going to drive prices down. When businesses have to compete for your support, for your business, when companies have to compete for your business, they will make you a deal. Why do you see all the time with these cell phone companies? If you switch from AT&T to T-Mobile today, well, we'll give you a free phone. We'll give you this. We'll give perks. Perks all over the place, right? Refer a friend, you get $5 off the bill. They start lowering costs. They start giving you value, right? You got, competing cable companies in your neighborhood. It's like, well, this company's giving me the triple play phone, internet, and TV for $200 a month. No. Well, we can give you these channels for free, which is a $75 value. And they start adding value to the plan. They start adding value to the package. Right now, that doesn't happen because the money's going straight to the insurance company. If you choose United Healthcare on the ACA exchange, you don't get that subsidy. They do. And Senator Marsha Blackburn, yesterday when we were on with Michael Patrick Leahy, said it again. And she said this with Andrew Wilkow a couple of weeks ago. There are millions of people who are fraudulently enrolled in the exchange, the healthcare.gov exchange. They have healthcare. Either they don't exist or they don't know it or they don't use it. What does that mean? That means that, for example, again, United Healthcare, because they're one of the biggest on the ACA exchange. That means John Smith in Minnesota, who's fraudulently enrolled or is not using it or doesn't know that he's enrolled. Maybe he's got one of those $0 premiums, right? He's not paying anything out of pocket. Taxpayers funding it all. Government's funding it all. That means that United Healthcare is getting whatever the subsidy is for free. Not because John Smith from Minnesota wants it, because he's enrolled and has no idea. These insurance companies are getting filthy rich off of the Affordable Care Act. And this is happening across the country. There's millions of cases, according to Senator Marsha Blackburn, millions of cases of this happening across the country. I think the number was 6.4 million Americans either fraudulently or unknowingly enrolled in some healthcare plan that they're not using or don't plan to use, where the insurance company is just getting free money from the government for nothing. They're not doing anything. It's got to change. Make these businesses compete for your business. Make these healthcare companies, these insurance companies compete for your business. Put them up against each other. Say, hey, I got Blue Cross Blue Shield here, and I got Horizon here, and I got United Healthcare here, and I got whatever the other ones are, all these other healthcare companies, right? And they're all competing. Well, this one says the plan is, $500 a month. Oh, well, we'll do this for $350 and we'll give you this. They will do that. That is how the free market works. If promotions didn't work to get people's business, then there wouldn't be promotions. Make these companies work for your business. They are currently not working for your business. They're listed on the Obamacare exchange. You pick one, they get free money, and you're out of pocket for the rest. Make them compete for your business. I want government out of this thing altogether. And that's why Massey voted no on it yesterday, because government was still involved. But it is a step in the right direction, this giving the money to the people idea. And the CBO says it would limit, it would lower Obamacare premiums by 11%. I think it's going to be even more than that, because you're going to have these insurance companies acting like cell phone providers saying, because T-Mobile was the first one who did this under John Legere, who's one of the best. I'm telling you what, if that guy, I don't know if he wrote a book. If he did, I want to read it. He is one of the best wireless cell phone CEOs in the history of the industry. He's you have unlimited data right now. Everybody has unlimited data right now. He is the reason why. Because when T-Mobile was a crappy company with crappy service, he came in and said, well, we got to do something that gives our customers value so they stay. And he said, no limits on text, no limits on minutes. Remember when you had to watch your minutes and there were like certain times of the day you could call, but certain times you couldn't. And if you called long distance, it cost you more. Like, these are all things. He said there's no limits on anything. Unlimited data, unlimited text, unlimited minutes. T-Mobile was the first phone company to do it. And people stuck with them because of it. Say, well, I can go to AT&T, I can get better service, but my goodness, it's going to cost me more. And they have limits. And guess what happened? That moved the needle so much, and the failed AT&T buyout of T-Mobile also helped, because then T-Mobile was able to acquire Spectrum from AT&T and Verizon with all the money that they got. But that moved the needle so much where you cannot find a plan with the major cell carriers that is not unlimited everything anymore. Because of him. One guy did that. Because he said, we are going to change the market. We are going to provide value to our customers so they stay. I mean, one of the reasons why I stick around with T-Mobile, right? Well, is because they give me free baseball every year. Again, added value. These insurance companies will act like cell phone providers. They'll start adding value so you don't switch to the competitor. This is what the free market is about. This is what puts a smile on my face when we talk about how to lower prices. Competition. Open up the market and let the people choose. Let the people choose. All right. Let's go. We got to take a quick break. Let's get to a word from our friends at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. And then we'll jump into the big news that came yesterday.
And then Mo.
Oh, it's Mo time.
They're going to have a problem if you don't honk
we will honk them. But then we will get into the big news that happened yesterday regarding Dan Bongino. I'll give you my take. I'm super excited about it. But first, a word from our friends at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here. Look, I want to talk to you a little bit about gold and silver. When I was a kid, I always wondered what Fort Knox must look like. And when I was a kid, I always envisioned that when you would walk into Fort Knox, you would see just gold everywhere, literally raining gold, kind of like what you see behind me right now. Unfortunately, as a grown-up, I don't have that kind of imagination anymore, and I don't even have that much trust that Fort Knox has the 5,000 tons of gold that we're supposed to have there. Meaning that decades ago, we went off the gold standard in this country, which took the value of our dollar down to just mere pennies. And since our federal government doesn't want to go back to a gold standard currency, then it's time to us to take matters into our own hands. Have you ever thought about buying gold and silver? Have you ever thought about taking portions of your IRA or your 401k or your nest egg or your savings and putting it into gold and silver, either all or a portion of it? Have you ever wanted to purchase silver like this in bullion or premium? I know I do. And I know I wanted to take matters back into my own hands, which is why I have worked with Golden Crest Metals to do that. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA is going to be your go-to, absolutely transparent and trusted partner. Now, you can go to that website or you can call 888-308-4202. And what the good thing about this is they're going to guide you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to guide you. They're going to give you all the answers to your questions. And there's going to be no hidden fees. It's completely transparent. No hidden fees. No pressure, no surprise markups whatsoever. Clients get to see everything before they purchase. They've even agreed to lower the minimum investment to the LFA audience in order to make sure that everybody has access to this. Free IRA storage, free insured shipping, and a full range of precious metals from gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. And if it's easier for you to just maybe click a QR code, well, guess what? We've got that available for you too. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Click this QR code on your screen, and it'll take you right there. goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Again, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA, or call 888-308-4202 today to reach these guys. They're going to be a great partner for you, just as they have been for me, and we absolutely recommend here at LFA TV, goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
That's goldencrestmetals.com/LFA. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Golden Crest, for being a part of the show. We appreciate that. As always, next up, a word from our friends at Captain Shitty's, the greatest salsa in the history of the world. Experience the vibrant sun-soaked flavors of the Southwest with this delicious salsa crafted with a meticulous blend of farm-fresh ingredients. There are no shortcuts taken. Just vine-ripened tomatoes, crisp onions, a medley of zesty peppers, and a perfectly balanced spice blend that delivers an irresistible kick. It's a salsa for the flavor enthusiast. Its robust, chunky texture makes it the ideal companion for endless culinary adventures. Use it to transform simple tortilla chips into an extraordinary snack. Layer it onto sizzling carnitas tacos for an instant upgrade. Mix it into your morning scrambled eggs or use it as a dynamic marinade for grilled chicken. The complex, layered flavors offer a perfect balance of heat and savory depth that mass-produced alternatives simply cannot match. Stop settling for bland dips and watery sauces. Seize bold flavor and truly elevate your next meal or gathering. Discover the genuine taste of the Southwest, where every bite is an authentic explosion of flavor at CaptainShitties.com, CaptainShitties.com, Captain Shitties, SCHIDDYS.com. All right.
And email us at ungovernedshow@gmail.com if you have issues with your order.
Yes. There it is. There it is. Jeremy's happy with the 836 that we see on the chat, on the show this morning. We are, 64 away from Magamo. It's been a while since we saw him. There you go. Bad Moon is excited about it. Look at that. There he goes. He's got the Mo. He's spelling Mo in the chat as he does. It's very good. Yesterday, it was announced officially that Dan Bongino will be stepping down as Deputy Director of the FBI in January. It is unsure or unclear what date that is going to be made official. But from someone who listened to every single episode of Dan's show since 2018, all the way back to, episode 638, I think, or 628, one of those, the Spygate era, and I had not missed an episode since then. I am very excited about it. Dan obviously is somebody who always, he did the Bongino rule, never jumped to conclusions. He would also tell you that he's not perfect, but one of the most reliable sources of information over the course of the last couple of years. And I'm sure he's going to have stories to tell. I'm sure there's going to be things that he can't say. But let's put it this way. The quote-unquote new media needs a rudder. Needs somebody who can guide and serve as a role model, for example, of how to conduct themselves. I don't think it is a coincidence that in the absence of Dan Bongino, we saw the rise of the grifter sensationalist class. He left a void, and a bunch of people, and it's not his fault, but a bunch of people said, well, there's audience up for grabs. Let me say the wildest crap imaginable and get some of those people. So to have Dan returning back to the airwaves and returning back to streaming and returning back to podcasting and being there and being that, as he always put it, activist first going into 2026, I think is incredibly important. And I think Vince is great. I think everybody over at Silverlock, Haley does a great job. But Dan is a one-of-a-kind type of a content creator, podcaster, deliverer of news, one of a kind. And I know maybe he'd take issue with this comparison because he's humble, but I viewed him the way many people a little older than me viewed Rush Limbaugh. He's the reason why there was a spark lit under my rear end sitting in traffic on the Tappan Zee Bridge that eventually led to the massive grassroots uprising on Long Island known as the loud majority. It's Dan Bongino's fault. Because he always said talk is cheap, the do matters. I was like, well, I got to do. So very happy to see him coming back. And I'll say this, I think as much as he did with the FBI, Pipe Bomber, 764 Network, Operation Summer Heat, and so on and so forth, he has a voice and he is extremely powerful and influential from the outside. Yeah, he ran for Congress a couple times and lost, and then had the biggest live stream in the world. And it's like, can I fix the system more from the inside or the outside? And I think it's true that Dan Bongino is more valuable to us here on the outside than he is on the inside. And that's not taking away from his decision. And holy moly, am I grateful and appreciative of the sacrifice. Think of what he gave up and put on hold to do that. But I am super excited to see him get back behind a microphone, get back in front of a camera, and do what he does best. And that is motivate, inform, and educate people on how to make a difference. So, very excited to see him coming back and to hear that announcement. And I know it's probably, and I can't speak for him, I could only imagine it's probably a relief for him too. Because I know it placed a lot of strain on his personal life, and he shared that on Fox News. That's not, information that isn't supposed to be. He said it in his, in his interview with Fox News. So,
and there's people that are like, "Oh, he's just running. Dan Bongino has more balls in his pinky nail than all these keyboard warriors will ever have ever.
100%.
Men and women that put their faces on camera and say stuff that they know will get them in a lot of, political trouble. They are very brave.
Yep. There you go.
Very brave.
Agreed. All right, let's move on because I have to put this. This Brown University thing. I cannot believe how bad this has gone. And I say this every single day. I can't believe how bad it is. I can't believe how bad it is. I can't believe how bad it is. And then it gets worse. Here's, I guess this is the president. You know what? Before we get to this, because I don't want to break this up. The president of Brown University was like, oh, we're cooperating. We're giving everything to everybody. Yeah, okay, sure. It's just, I cannot believe it. All right. Let's get to a word from our friends at Silent first. SLNT.com/Sean. SLNT.com/Sean. Let's face it. Your phone is a tracking device between government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, the crackheads of the internet. They're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint, and they don't ask. They just go on and take it. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals, including cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. No signal means no tracking, no remote access, and no breadcrumbs. It's the same technology trusted by special operations teams worldwide, used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now, it is available to you to protect your family, protect your freedom, and secure your digital footprint. Drop your phone in a Silent Faraday sleeve, and it's off the grid, completely silent and invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks to their sleeves to their cross-body, Silence patented technology gives you control of your privacy. Just visit slnt.com/Sean to get 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. That is Silent, slnt.com/Sean. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay one step ahead. Silent.com, slnt.com. Silence the chaos and go silent. Today, I saw Matt Brown's comment say we should call Brown University University of Color. Okay. Thankfully, Matt Brown's last name is spelled with an E, so he could say, I have no relation to these communists.
That's true.
There you go. All right, listen to the president of Brown University, and this is another one of these stupid press conferences where these people clearly have no idea what's going on.
Can you say for the record and with complete certainty that every bit of digital mass surveillance, whatever type of evidence was collected by the infrastructure of Brown University has been turned over to the Providence Police Department, as well as the Attorney General's office? Is the Brown University withholding anything, for the record?
For the record, we are cooperating 100% with law enforcement. We are turning over everything we have to assist in this investigation.
And you have a map, and they are fully aware of whatever surveillance is being taken?
All materials are being provided to law enforcement.
Yeah, great. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, yeah, we really have confidence in you. By the way, you can see him peeking over the lower third, right? Ooh, there he is, Magamo. We got it. 900. Oh, gosh. There it is. Woo! And can I get a squeak? There he goes. Very good. All right. 900. Let's get to 1,000. Let's keep going. Keep flying up. Helps us fly up the charts. Hit that thumbs up button. There are people who are like, why is he honking his hedgehog on camera? Don't worry. This is not Jeffrey Toobin. This is not a Zoom call. It's a dog toy. Here is this Oscar Perez Jr., the police chief over at Providence, Rhode Island, who, listen, I don't know anything about this guy other than I can't understand him. And I find myself looking at the sign language lady to try and understand what he's saying. I kid you not. This is him. And this is either incompetence, unintentional incompetence, where it's DEI and they're bad at their jobs, or something really bad is being covered up here. And I hate to say something really bad is definitely being covered up here because I don't have proof of that, but it is hard to be this bad at your job. Listen to this and tell me, look, again, this is a very scary situation. You have an active shooter on a college campus, 2 students are dead, and you don't know where this guy is, and you're asking the public for help, but you can't adequately communicate with the public with somebody like this. Watch.
My question is, have you found any DNA evidence from the crime scene or the area that you believe might belong to the shooter?
So we have found a lot of evidence that we need to, and we use and utilize it to hopefully guide us in the right direction in order to identify the individual that we're looking for.
Any of that been DNA evidence?
This actual physical evidence, there's DNA evidence, there's a lot of evidence that we're collecting to ensure that we can find the answer.
Yeah, okay. Great. It sounds like they have a whole lot of nothing. It sounds like they have a whole lot of nothing. And by the way, now they're saying, the shooter he could be anywhere now. Great job, guys. The shooter could be anywhere.
Word salads with an accent.
It's word salads with an accent. Yeah, well, we had that. Are you okay? Is your family okay? Is your house okay? When Kamala Harris was on Univision, are you okay? Someone said, press 1 for English. Press 1 for English. I'll tell you what, when I get somebody, this is going to get taken out of context,
Oh, no.
but that's fine. When I get somebody on customer service who sounds like that, I start flipping out. I'm like, I'm not at the point where my order or whatever is effed up, but I can't understand you. All right. Does anybody have any confidence in the Providence, Rhode Island Police Department?
No.
I have no confidence in the Providence, Rhode Island Police Department. We are looking at all the evidence, okay? And we are collecting all the. I think they said in one of the press conferences too that like they hadn't interviewed some of the witnesses yet. It's been almost 6 days. What if you're not interviewing witnesses? What are you doing? There's a story from a witness, and not all witness testimony is to be taken, as the gospel, right? But you have I think one witness said that they looked directly into the eyes of the shooter, and the shooter did not shoot him. Why?
That's interesting.
Isn't it? Because you would think the shooter would want to kill somebody who may be able to later identify him. Was this targeted? Was Ella Cook, the vice president of the Republican club, the college Republicans on Brown University, was she a target of a political assassination? There are also reports that she was shot twice. Listen, the fat guy that you saw walking on the street doesn't look like some trained killer assassin to me. So maybe not trained, but the question, and it's genuinely a question, could be asked, was this targeted? If that report from that witness is true and that he or she looked into the eyes of the shooter and was not killed, does the shooter say, that's not my target? Out of the way. That's my target? I don't know. I think it's worth asking. All right, let's get a little laugh break.
Well, hold on. I have one thing to say
ahead.
about that.
Go ahead.
There's one sliver of like good stuff that's coming out of all the Islam attacks. Is people are seeing their verses now. That's being spread around where their holy book, and I say that sarcastically. It shows where they are to kill.
It's in their book,
and that's like being put out everywhere. And I think that's great.
It is good. It is good. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. You know, you guys remember Fannie Willis? Remember Fannie? Nathan's hot dog eating champion, right? She eats Nathan's hot dog like nobody's ever seen before. Nathan Wade. She had a couple of meltdowns in court yesterday, so why don't we laugh at fat, frumpy Fannie Willis here? Take a look.
Screen. I don't review those documents, so you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that I only allowed Mr. Wade to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45. He got there before them. He left after him. He taught them how to do this case, and he was a leader to that team and a public servant. And for that, him like me has been threatened thousands of times. You want something to investigate as a legislature? Investigate how many times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you investigate that? Why don't you investigate them writing on my house? Why don't you investigate the fact that my house has been swatted? If you want something to do with your time that makes sense. And you can use...
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. She's in the Senate, by the way. It's not in court, but she's in the... Investigate how many times I got called the N-word. Oh, cry me a freaking river. Here's a second meltdown she had yesterday. She went nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Was there a lead on your transition team?
I was the lead. I was the DA.
Okay. Was there another person that you consulted with more than the others?
No.
I believe Mr. Wade said under testimony that he was a part of over 90% of these meetings or decisions. Do you recall that being an approximate, accurate statement as to his involvement?
I can't speak to any other person's testimony, so I'm not going to ever comment on someone's testimony. If he testified to such, you're going to need to show it to me. You'll have to forgive me. I don't really trust you. So I'll have to see that particular testimony.
Do you recall Mr. Wade being...
Wait just a minute. She's got a right to finish her answer. You don't have a right to cut her off.
That's incorrect, Governor. Thank you.
Sir. It is
I'll be completing answers, though, sir. So
sure.
We should get that straight from the...
Was Mr. Wade part of, would you say, more than half of the interviews that you conducted?
Yes.
Would you say it was more than 75% of the interviews you conducted?
I'm not going to guess at numbers. He was definitely more than half.
And what percentage of decisions, was the same percentage of decisions that he was a part of?
I ultimately made every decision. I take wise counsel from a group of people. So I took wise counsel from him. I took wise counsel from Deputy Bond. Ultimately, I made the decision on who stayed and who went.
Was Mr. Wade paid for this transition work?
None of them were paid. It was all volunteer work.
Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis. All right. There it is. Little Fannie meltdown for the end of the day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Jeremy Harrell up next here with LFA TV live from America coming up right now with Jeremy Harrell. As President Trump says, we will never give up, we will never give in, and we will never, ever surrender. And if all else fails, we will just become ungovernable. Thank you. God bless you. God bless this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a tremendous rest of your Thursday. I'll see you on Newsmax around 5:30 with Carl Higbee. And we'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, rumble.com/LFA TV. Phone call, second half of the show at 10 a.m. Eastern Time when our show starts. Also, 7:45 to 9:45 with Kale and Company on 1210 WPHT. Until then, in the words of John Fetterman, good night, everybody. Bang, gavel. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you for your attention to this matter.